Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 364 based on novel. So let's start. With such a scene between Xiaoyang and the dark underworld, the outside world is also engaged in an extremely fierce battle. Boom. The dazzling two-color energy ripples continuously scattered from the void at the top of the lair, and the blood-colored chains directly locked the evil sword completely. The destructive energy ripples moved frantically here, and soon formed a furnace at the bottom of the nest. The furnace rose from the ground, occupying most of the space, and several sinners in the field joined forces to display a majestic destructive power, completely rendering the bottom of the lair into a real battlefield of flames, even the huge evil tree. Also because the attacks of Soul Flame and Protector White became shaky, and the tree body was damaged to varying degrees. Bang bang bang! With a sound, Protector By fell from the sky like a corpse, covered in scars, like a living dead, not even a trace of anger. This is the end of going against our soul palace. Blood-colored furnace, swallow it for me, destroy everything here. Seeing Protector By so tragic, a hint of sneer burst out from Xiaoyang's hideous face. The power of belief can only be mastered by stepping into the reincarnation, but what they secretly researched in the Soul Palace has already solved this problem. Now, with a little bit of the power of belief, a powerhouse of the same level in the hands of Soul Flame can be defeated. It's easy to kill. Protection White. Seeing Protector White being so miserable, the other sinners snorted coldly. Forget it, he's already dead. At this moment, a special evil aura flashed on Gamma's dark green hair, and his eyes were fixed on the blood-colored furnace that continued to devour humans and sea beasts below. The blood-colored furnace is just like a vicious dog crawling from hell. Its evil and ***** aura directly forms a furnace vortex. Every time the furnace vortex wriggles, it will devour many humans and sea beasts, and then there will be a faint black luster. Flying towards Soul Flame, after Soul Flame absorbs this power, its strength actually has a faint surge. This guy seems to be quite difficult to deal with. At this moment, Gamma's expression was no longer flickering, but his eyes were solemn. The two hall masters of the Soul Palace attacked with their subordinates and used the power of faith to obliterate the White Protector. The current situation has exceeded their expectations, but in any case, they must wait until Lord Mal successfully catalyzes the maturity of the devil fruit. Otherwise, everything will be in vain. Boom! The furnace whirlpool is like a demon, madly devouring everything at the bottom of the lair, making the space full of extreme unease. No, let's go on like this. At this moment, Ji Shen glanced, and the ancient vines wrapped around him, and went directly to the place of the dark underworld. Even though the vortex of the furnace is tyrannical, it can't cause any harm to the dark underworld. Before Ji Shen clearly saw Xiaoyang standing on the shoulders of the dark underworld, a bold idea emerged. Bang bang bang! What's the matter? Ji Shen's figure just came to the side of the dark underworld, and the dark underworld was like a giant dragon who had just woken up from a deep sleep. The fluctuations of the sky and the earth stimulate everyone's senses. This guy, what's going on? At this time, not only Ji Shen had doubts, but even other sinners, everyone in the Soul Hall looked at the sturdy body and destructive power of the dark underworld, and hesitated. Hunyang, what's going on? Hun Wuji was also anxious. With his strength, he couldn't stop this guy at all, so he could only helplessly roar at Xiaoyang behind him. I don't know, but my connection with him has been cut off. Xiaoyang's eyes were cold, and he said word by word. There is a human on the shoulders of the dark Hade. Look. I don't know who said it, and everyone looked at it, and they really found a person on the shoulders of the dark underworld warrior's black armor. The dark underworld is like a knight, and the figure standing on his shoulder is just like an inconspicuous grain of sand, but it is this gap that makes everyone shudder. This little beast. Hun Wuji, let's take action together and catch this guy for me. Seeing this scene, Hunyang didn't know what to do, and cold sweat broke out from his back. The power of the dark underworld is higher than that of the Dark Knight, but at this time, a creature of this level actually quietly obeys the command of a human who is only in the late stage of the 5-star fighting immortal. If it is said that there is nothing strange in it, I am afraid no one will believe it. I'm afraid, it's too late. At this time, Soul Wuji shrank his eyes tightly and noticed something. For a time, the void at the top of the nest suddenly wriggled violently, and raindrops fell silently from the sky, as if the sky was crying and angry. There's something wrong with this raindrop. Defend quickly. Soul Wuji was extremely puzzled, and suddenly raised his palm, and a drop of rain fell on his palm lightly. At that time, his pupils suddenly shrank, and he roared at the Soul Palace powerhouse behind him. The raindrops are only the size of sand grains, but they are a strange dark green color, and even relying on Soul Wuji's superb soul power, I feel an unprecedented terror from it. A big gift for you, Xiaoyu. At this time, a demonic voice sounded like a real demon teasing them. The dark green evil rain dripped on the bottom of the nest, and the unconscious humans and sea beasts that were suddenly contaminated with the evil rain suddenly opened their eyes, and there was a turbid black luster in them. Master. For a time, as the area covered by the evil rain became larger and larger, countless creatures woke up. Their eyes were strange, flickering with turbid ink-colored light, looking up at the evil tripod in the center of the canopy of the evil tree, and said in unison, "The momentum is mighty, as if Tianwei is roaring like a dog, Master." On the other hand, apart from the sinners who were not controlled by the evil rain, even under the baptism of the evil rain, the scars on their bodies healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Apart from the two hall masters, everyone else was completely controlled by this evil rain. A rain, the rain of evil souls, has completely rewritten the already one-sided battle situation. The evil rain was dripping down like a torrential rain, and it contained some mysterious power that could easily control people's hearts. For a time, it formed a sharp contrast with the vortex of the furnace. Countless soul fires erupted from the vortex of the furnace, and the dark green evil rain continued to drip down on the dark underworld. At this moment, the dark underworld stopped and was wearing black armor, which was continuously eroded by these strange and evil forces. But the dark underworld warrior stands in place like a stubborn stone, and the fire of the soul can't wear his black armor. Even if the evil rain is weird, it can't cause any damage to it. It is like an ancient emperor with a very noble identity, mocking and questioning these weak forces. Xiaoyang, what should I do now? Looking at the more and more figures around him like a tide, Soul Wuji approached Xiaoyang. Such a turbulent scene made his heart palpitate because of his strength. It's okay, we still have the furnace vortex. Give it to me. At this time, Soul Flame pretended to be calm and roared, and now the mighty army, I am afraid that only the furnace vortex, blessed by the power of faith, can compete with it. Wong buzzing. With the appearance of this scene, the blood-colored furnace vortex directly devoured most of the creatures controlled by the evil rain, and it turned into a pure power that was strung into the soul of the soul. Let's go and destroy it. Xiaoyang and the Dark Lord have been silently stagnant since the evil rain just appeared. After Xiaoyang stared at Xieding Neymar for a long time, the two seemed to after reaching a certain consensus, Xiaoyang gave the order just now. As for Ji Xian, it was under Xiaoyang's instructing, and he was attached to the shadow of the underworld, so he was also protected from the evil rain. This guy named Xiaoyang may be the best test subject for devil fruits. Compared to the prince of the Heavenly Star Empire, he is too tyrannical. It's a pity that I have already made an agreement with him, it's a pity. The agate fruit in the evil grace is more and more bright, and a touch of evil light is more and more flickering like a demon. Every beat will make this space full of extremely dangerous breath. I am afraid that it is very close to being truly mature. Boom. The vortex of the blood-colored furnace shook violently, but the dark underworld did not hesitate. He raised his arm covered with black armor and swung it heavily, and suddenly the mountain shook. The blood-colored furnace that contained the power of Faith the Whirlpool was actually destroyed like this. Not even any energy ripples emerged along the way, without any resistance, just such a blow. How is that possible? At this moment, a shock lingered in Xiaoyang's heart, and it didn't go away for a long time. He knows the power of the dark underworld. Even if he is tyrannical, he cannot destroy the furnace vortex that he has blessed with the power of faith. What exactly is going on? Xiaoyang. Countless questions and anger emerged in his heart, but his eyes suddenly saw a beautiful four-color lotus flower on Xiaoyang's arm, slowly bursting out. Then, here's a gift for you. In an instant, Xiaoyang escaped from the dark underworld master, his body trembled, and the Buddha's furious samsara directly locked on Soul Yang on the palm of his hand, roaring away at him. In a different space, the relationship between Xiaoyang and the dark underworld naturally consumed a lot of the ancient emperor Tuorsha. Now the two have concluded an equality treaty, not like a master and servant, but more like a comrade in arms, so the dark underworld is also willing. With the help of Xiaoyang, the power displayed is naturally much more tyrannical than when Soul Yang controlled it. After all, there are many contracts concluded by the summoning attribute, but undoubtedly, the master-servant contract and the equality contract, or the latter is more convincing for this creature. Boom. At this moment, Xiaoyang and Wuji were attacked by the enemy from both sides, and the evil rain filled the sky. In addition to Xiaoyang's reincarnation of Buddha's wrath, and the three-party attack led by Gamma behind him, they retreated steadily for a while. At the bottom of this lair, like a real doomsday, various energies are constantly flashing out. Let's do it together. Tear here. Han Yang snorted coldly as he stared fiercely at Mal and Xieding, who were being protected by countless powerhouses. Crash. With a sound, Han Yang and Han Wuji joined forces, and two dark soul light groups strung out from their bodies, hanging in front of them like a round of evil moons, even if they were separated by a very long distance. The distance, many sinners also smelled a strong sense of oppression from it. With a sound, a ball of soul light shot directly at Xiaoyang's four-color Buddha's wrath, while another ball suddenly shot at Gamma and the others. Bang bang bang! The pitch-black soul light group and the four-color fire lotus touched together, and waves of terrifying energy ripples continued to spread out. This terrifying coercion made everyone's heart tighten. Wong buzz! They're going to run. Stop them for me. At this moment, Gamma turned into a dark green evil Orn demon, grasped the fist with thunder, and smashed directly at the two souls. Today we were negligent, but in the end we won. Soul burial. Thousands of souls' thorns. After Shun breathed, Gamma and Xiaoyang's second team temporarily resisted, and Soul Yang's body was full of anger from countless ghosts, and a roar resounded through the 9 days, venting out. The devil's lair was shrouded in black mist, and countless evil rains seemed weak under this black mist, but at this time, the roar of soul flames was still incessant, causing these controlled humans to shiver. Suddenly, above the void at the top of the lair, holes burst out one by one, and behind the holes was endless black mist. This scene is enough to be called shocking. With the roar of the soul flames, the black mist in the hole continued to emerge, and the entire nest was completely filled in a short period of time. Filled with so many black mists, the humans in the nest controlled by the evil rain suddenly let out a cry, as if a child was afraid of something. Isn't it immortal? At this moment, Xiaoyang didn't do anything, standing on the shoulders of the dark underworld. The body was shrouded, and it seemed that he also smelled a dangerous breath from the black mist. Crash. After a while, in those holes, a silver holy sword, like a blade piercing the sky, emerged from the hole, and the whole body was filled with black mist, as if an extremely evil creature was coveting the world. Soul Palace's unique magic. Ghast Judgment. This level of magic is displayed by the sacrifice of countless lonely ghosts and wild ghosts. The price is very high, but its power is obvious to all. Since we can't get it, then you can't get it either. At this moment, Soul Yang's whole body was extremely weak, but his hands showed a posture of supporting the sky, his eyes locked on the evil cauldron above the canopy of this evil tree, and he let out a shocking roar. Not good. He's trying to destroy the devil fruit. Seeing Soul Yang's desperate move, he was astonished to have both Gamma and the guilt behind him. The experiment of devil fruit has been studied with painstaking efforts by countless generations of powerhouses. In their minds, this has long been more valuable than their lives. Destroy me completely. Without any hesitation, Soul Yang suddenly dropped his hands and projected it towards the evil cauldron above the canopy of the evil tree. At that time, the silver sword of the evil soul holy judge, which was already ready to go, suddenly filled with bursts of fierce wind, and roared away at the evil cauldron like a broken bamboo. If such a terrifying attack really hits the evil cauldron, I am afraid that the evil cauldron and the devil fruit will instantly turn into dust. These guys. This guy actually wants to destroy the devil fruit. That's fine. Xiaoyang's eyes narrowed slightly, looking at Soul Yang's fierce means, and muttering to the crowd on the other side who were not afraid of death, like moths flying towards the silver soul sword. This silver soul sword contains countless lonely souls and wild ghosts, and its power may be enough to obliterate the powerhouses in the middle stage of the 8 starfighting immortals. Even under the desperate efforts of Gamma and others, I am afraid it will not help. Not good. At this moment, Mal, who turned into a dark green mist lingering on the evil cauldron, saw this. His body shook violently, and a touch of fear permeated. However, for a crazy guy like him, the devil fruit is indeed more important than his own life. After a moment, Ma's body appeared in front of the Xieding, and the ink-colored pupils also appeared for a while, and there was even a rare touch of madness. At this time, Ma had a sinister smile on the corner of his mouth, and on the shriveled palm, an agate-like fruit exuded endless evil. This fruit is not ripe, about 1/3 of its mature state. As for the evil cauldron behind it, there are still 2 devil fruit. The 2 devil fruits are about the size of peaches, with an ink-colored liquid flowing slowly inside them. The outermost part is agate-colored, one is half-ripe, and the other is only the tip of the peach is not completely dyed, otherwise it will be in the completely mature at this moment. What are you doing? At this moment, the ghostly soul sword was temporarily blocked by the countless evil branches of the evil tree, and the pupils of Xiaoyang and Sol Wuji shrank violently. Smelled a real devilish breath. Even if this fruit is immature, only 1/3 of its mature state, the power contained in it is enough to make them shudder, and they are very aware of the enormous energy contained in it. This is also being forced to be helpless. But thank you very much for allowing me to become a researcher and an experimenter. On the palm of the shriveled palm, a scarlet fruit like agate stone quietly floated on the palm, and the strange ink-colored luster couldn't see it in the end. What is it? Ma, you lunatic. Immature devil fruit, if it is swallowed indiscriminately, I am afraid it will bring unspeakable harm. You have to think about it. At this moment, Hun Yang and Hun Wuji stared at Mal with cold eyes and said with gnashing teeth, Soul Flame, are you afraid? At this moment, Ma let out a strange sneer, squeezed the immature devil fruit tightly on his palm, his eyes suddenly shrank, and roared at him like a madman. Afraid? This hall's main hall is 8-star fighting immortals, wouldn't he be afraid of your mere crime division? Give this thing to me as soon as possible. Sol Yang snorted coldly, but the strong people present could hear a sense of fear from this voice. He is afraid. Hall Master Shentang, who is in the profound yellow of the heaven and earth in the Hall of Souls, with the initial strength of the 8-star fighting immortal, is actually afraid of the demonic fruit on the palm of a sinner whose strength is only 7-star fighting immortal. Mortals only know that the attributes are divided into 5 main types: gold, wood, water, fire, and soil. However, with the continuous research and exploration of countless capable people in the world, many attributes have burst out under these 5 attributes. Such as space, summoning, light, etc. Every time a new attribute is born, it will cause an uproar and blood flow, but I believe that it is all worthwhile, and the world will always remember the name of my Ma in the future. And what I hold at this time is not just a fruit, it is more like the beginning of a new era. My teachers and I affectionately call it a demon. Of course, you can also call it a demon attribute. This time, Ma was like a messenger of the god's residence, quietly reciting the oath that belonged to him. As soon as the voice fell, the agate-colored fruit was gently lifted by him, over his head. At this moment, the devil fruit was as fragile as a piece of glass, and as indestructible as a stubborn stone, containing monstrous evil power. Sir, this is this. Looking at Ma, who was already insane in the sky, Gamma and the others in the rear couldn't help but show a frenzy of excitement. After waiting for so many years, I can finally successfully research the demon attribute, and finally I can serve as a witness of the demon attribute. Dare to ask this world, what is more refreshing than this? Soul Sword, destroy it for me. After a while, looking at Ma, who was getting more and more mad and his face became more and more hideous, Soul Flame spurted out a mouthful of black blood, and sprinkled straight on the ruling Soul Sword that had emerged before. For a while, the Soul Sword evil light flourished, breaking free from the shackles of the evil tree in one fell swoop, and roaring away at Ma with the attitude of the sky. Ended. Everything today is your fault. After completing the final blow, although Xiaoyang was extremely weak, an evil smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Under the immortal Soul Sword, ghosts and gods are destroyed. Susu, that's not necessarily. At this critical moment, Ma gritted his teeth, dark green blood overflowed from the corner of his mouth, and immediately crushed the devil fruit on his palm with such a crazy smile. Ma actually crushed the devil fruit in front of everyone's eyes. What kind of power does this immature devil fruit contain? Will there be sequels? Numerous questions plagued everyone present. The agate-like devil fruit was gently crushed, and suddenly a dark green liquid that was not pure was spread out, just like the breath of a devil. Since the inside of the devil fruit emerged easily surrounded Mal stand up. Even the shards of the devil fruit turned into layers of dark green blood mist, lingering around Ma's body, as if performing some kind of ritual, extremely eerie. At the same time, the face of Ma, who was smiling wildly, changed suddenly, and a heart-piercing pain suddenly emerged, making his eyes scarlet, and his hands clasped his head and roared. That kind of torture, that kind of pain, the people around him can hear it clearly from his screams. Go back. Xiaoyang watched from the beginning to the end. When he saw this scene, his heart and Saint Flame crystal shook violently at the same time, as if some wicked demon was about to be born. Retreat. Seeing this strange situation, Gamma and others also retreated. Although they were studying new attributes, demon attributes, they had never seen the appearance of devouring the devil fruit. Now Ma directly swallows an immature demon. What will happen to the fruit? Surrounded by dark green blood mist, They are wriggling, shaking, madly devouring Ma's vitality and even strength, and they are more like some kind of living creatures. After devouring Ma's power and life, a new breath is like a demon who escaped from the most evil purgatory. With a contemptuous look, he looks down on the world. At this moment, the senses of everyone at the bottom of the nest became extremely sensitive, just like the Ma surrounded by blood mist in front of him, just like a demon baby, slowly bore. This. What kind of monster is this? At this moment, the corners of Ji Shen's mouth, standing at the foot of the giant dark underworld, were dry and blank. He possesses some ancient power in his body, which is enough for him to walk sideways among the 6-star Dozyan with the initial strength of the 5-star Dozyan, but in the face of Mal, who has just devoured the immature devil fruit, a wave comes from the bottom of his heart, even his soul. The fear above filled my heart. This is a demon. Xiaoyang's eyes were extremely dignified at this time, staring at Ma, who was covered in dark green blood mist. He also felt a throbbing power. Is this the devil attribute that comes from the devil fruit? Compared with the fallen angels and the death gods in the underworld, it is really not much. But now there is a special space in the depths of my body. There is only a trace of the remnant of the soul here. Otherwise, this kind of thing is really something worth exploring. At this moment, in the Emperor Yang ring on Xiaoyang's finger, Tuo Shigu Di Shuiying whispered softly. At the same time, the entire nest became trembling, and the devil-like Ma above the evil tree was terrifying. Bang bang bang! With a sound, the blood mist dissipated directly, and the bone pain all over Ma's body sounded violently. His skin color was changing, and in an instant, it turned into a rare monster dark green, even when the dark green skin filled his body. A dark green blood pattern, like a hideous demon, was completely carved on the entire body. Boom! Ma's mutation has not been completely completed, but the immortal soul sword cast by Xiaoyang is to break free from the shackles of the evil tree and easily come to Ma's side. The extremely gloomy destructive power may be enough to destroy the demon baby. Totally screwed up here. A strange scene appeared. Just when Ma's body changed strangely, the soul sword was gently pressed against by Ma's palm, and immediately above the corner of his mouth, a dark green tooth was exposed like a peerless beast. Appeared, looking extremely and hideous. This monster. At this moment, Soul Flame Soul Wuji glanced at each other, and he also sensed a real wave of death from the body of Ma, who was looking so weird now. It's not too late, let's go. Dare not to hesitate. The figures of the two exploded at the same time, and countless ghosts roared under their feet. For a time, the two even flew away from the nest space, trying to escape from here. Even though they lost a lot of Soul Hall powerhouses and fell short, but they are not willing to face Ma in the current state. This shows what? It shows that although the current Ma has not fully evolved into a demon, the power contained in it can easily obliterate the two of them. Squeaky. It seems that since swallowing the devil fruit, Ma has become a different person. Watching the two flee without any hesitation, the dark green evil hair above his head grows wildly, and in the blink of an eye, the entire nest the space was completely filled with dark green evil hair. The foreshadowing of the dark green evil hair makes this lair like a dark green evil world, and it is like a purgatory surrounded by demons. This lunatic. At this moment, Xiaoyang looked at Ma behind him and cursed to himself. They brought a lot of Soul Hall powerhouses on this trip, and even lost a trace of faith for this. Now the huge price. They did not get the devil fruit, and even the lives of the two of them were in jeopardy. For a while growl. Squeaky. Demon Ma didn't seem to want to say anything more to the two. Between his teeth shaking, a trace of evil power eroding people's hearts, along the dark green evil hair, blasted away at the two soul flames. What should we do now? Ji Shen asked Xiaoyang, looking at the two souls who were like lost dogs. I'm afraid Ma has turned into a demon now. Although it's not the purest, his power is comparable to the late stage of the human 8-star fighting immortal, and there are 2 devil fruits in the evil cauldron, and he can't go now. At this moment, Xiaoyang said in a deep voice, it seems that this devil fruit has brought a great impact on Xiaoyang, but at the same time, the Fenju in Xiaoyang's body also burst out with a greedy aura. That kind of aura, like looking for a devil fruit, plus the aura above the nest, it seems that it will never escape at this time. We're going to die like this. Trust me. What is this? Just when Xiaoyang was at a loss, a faint golden holy light was as gentle and holy as the light of dawn in the sky at the top of the lair, slowly emerging from multiple directions at the top of the lair. They are intertwined with each other, surrounded by each other, and a little by little they build a magnificent pentagram on the top of the nest. The pentagram array is extremely sacred and majestic, and even when the dark green evil hair touches the array, it quickly fades away, as if it touched something with zero fear. What is that? At this moment, Gamma and the others said in amazement. From within the 5-rayed light array, they smelled a sacred and inviolable Xeon aura. Is it finally here? Xiaoyang frowned, looking at the golden lines contained in the 5-light formation and the majestic light that covered the sky. He quickly knew what it was. Is it finally here? Soul promise. The two Xiaoyang, who were planning to break the cauldron and sink the boat, laughed when they saw this. This is the antidote, given to me by the dark underworld, the humans and sea beasts controlled by the evil rain, please. Xiaoyang threw a jade bottle at Ji Xian, and immediately stood on the shoulder of the dark underworld, his eyes tightened, staring closely at the pentagram above the sky. Okay. Ji Xian took the antidote and went directly to the many humans below. Squeaky. At this moment the demon Ma stopped attacking the two souls, his dark green eyes narrowed slightly, staring at the pentagram. It seems that there is a life and death enemy. Come on, let me see what an angel is. At a certain moment, the demon Ma screamed in the sky, and the harsh voice turned into waves of ink-colored energy ripples, suddenly facing the 5-point star array flashing with countless gods. Blast away. Humble human beings dare to covet evil powers. Your dirty soul has already been contaminated with countless innocent lives. Even if your sinner comes to you, you are beyond redemption. Today, I will personally judge you by God. Suddenly, the 5-point star array radiated a lot of light, and suddenly countless evil light ripples were gently scattered, and in the 5-point star array, a high-pitched voice sounded like a generally resounding in the sky. After a while, the casual voice fell and the light dissipated, and in this dazzling pentagram, a sacred and inviolable figure quietly emerged. The delicate facial features are like the most outstanding masterpieces of the gods. A pair of bright eyes seems to be penetrating into all things. The pair of long white wings behind them are slightly instigated. The silhouette of the white armor on the body is as sacred as a dazzling scorching sun, inviolable, angel, holy sea angel, the angel who controls all judgments in the world, messenger of God, angel, holy sea angel. It symbolizes the highest existence in the world of law enforcement that is generally aloof. There was a legend in the Dacian world that the angel family was an existence above the heavens and the earth. They were independent and dictatorial and were not bound by the world. They lived in the kingdom of angels. About the entrance to this realm, not many people in the whole Dacian world knew. The only thing that human beings know is that there is a force dedicated to serving angels in Dacian world. They believe in angels, spread the virtues of angels in Dacian world, and also do things for angels. If they contribute enough, there is still hope to ascend to the kingdom of angels and get blessed by an angel. There is little hope of eternal life. That power is the Holy See. The word angel symbolizes the highest-ranking arbiters in the world. Their status in the Holy See is second only to the red-clothed archbishop and the pope, and even in the great thousand world, they are not bound by any forces. Angel, I didn't expect that I would actually attract an angel to show up. At this moment, looking at the angel shining like a asterisk in the pentagram, the demon Ma said with a cracked smile, but there was no fear on his face, and even a trace of excitement, a crazy smile. I'm a roving angel who roams the world, eradicating evil and promoting good, Mekl. The two-winged angel did not say anything. In a light-hearted way, the countless dark green demon powers in this lair were completely wiped out like moths to a flame. Disintegrated, turned into bursts of Sanskrit sounds and dissipated between heaven and earth. At this moment, the power of the gods is mighty, as solemn as the real gods are reading the judgment to the demon Ma, angel. A long time ago, when I was a mere first-time criminal guard, I wanted to visit in person. At this moment, the demon Ma let out bursts of weird laughter. As early as when he was one of the weakest members of sin, he had seen the angels. In order to obliterate the devil, he did not hesitate to completely obliterate some innocent lives, including Mal's family. From that time on, slaughtering angels became Mal's wildest wish. I am the messenger of God and follow the will of God. The devil appeared today. Wait, you can't escape the verdict. Mekl didn't seem to be in a hurry at all. With a look of beauty, a ray of divine light was vented and shot at Ma, and the rest of the light was actually facing looking at the evil tripod above the evil tree. It can be seen that this guy seems to have some other thoughts about the devil fruit. The dignified Vatican angel actually came to my poor house. If you don't treat me warmly, wouldn't the world say that Sima is too cold-blooded for my fifth crime? Ma didn't say much, just waved, a dark green light beam, attacked and walked away. The fierce offensive contained on it is suffocating. Boom. The hot and holy light and the dark green evil light just collided, and suddenly brought a monstrous momentum in the air. Just like a curtain of light and the black world colliding head-on, the endless divine aura and evil power were vented from the wandering angel Mekl and the demon Ma, and the entire space became violently shaking, and it would completely collapse at any time. These two guys are crazy. Do they want to destroy this place? Seeing that the battlefield in midair had already evolved into a battlefield of roving angels and demons, Xiaoyang and Sol Wuji forcibly displayed the body protection black fog protection himself, but the black fog was easily resolved by the power of the angels. I am afraid that if this continues, the two of them will only have to fall. It seems that this so-called roving angel is also a bit selfish. At this moment, Xiaoyang stood on the shoulders of the dark underworld, and the dark underworld burst out with a black light to protect himself, ready to be dispatched by Xiaoyang. When Xiaoyang just entered the devil's lair, he sensed a trace of divine aura, but he didn't know it was an angel. Now that the capture of Ma has reached the last step, the angel has just appeared, and he just glanced at the evil cauldron from the corner of his eye. Xiaoyang couldn't help guessing about the remaining two devil fruits. You must get the devil fruit first. A crazy thought emerged in Xiaoyang's mind, and he quietly approached the evil cauldron with the help of the battle in the sky. Boom! The two 8-star fighting immortal level powerhouses fought against each other, causing a huge wave in the entire nest for a while. Countless overcast winds blew through, and ripples of destructive energy also burst out from the two sides. 8-star fighting immortal level demon, it's just a low-level means of relying on some evil things. After a simple collision between the two, Mekl returned to the sky above the pentagram to enjoy the holy light. Moisturizing, and the demon Ma also appeared on a branch of the evil tree. Squeak. At this moment, the dark green skin of demon Ma suddenly exuded an aura that was almost morbid. At that time, a dark green evil energy gently emerged around his body. Shengmang, verdict. Looking at the little movement of the demon Ma, Mekl sneered, and the pentagram all over his body suddenly shone with hot rays of light, and the white wings behind his back were gently stirred, and a pure white saint surrounded by countless angel wings. The sword, like a pillar of the sky, stands in the sky, and it traverses the entire nest space with ease. The power of the devil. Seeing that Mekl used the power of the angel's judgment as soon as he came, the devil Ma did not hesitate. The dark green blood in the body boiled violently, like an erupting volcano erupting, countless dark green evil energy, like the breath of a giant dragon, completely covering the entire nest space. Ma, stop doing unnecessary struggles. Otherwise, all the creatures in the devil's lair in the depths of today will not be able to escape. With the blessing of the holy sword behind him, Mekl's high-pitched voice penetrated the entire lair. It's a pity that we can't slaughter the angels this time, but I believe that when we meet next time, someone will really slaughter you. Squeaky. At this moment, feeling the extremely hot holy sword above the sky, there was a hint of determination in the eyes of the demon Ma, and then the skin around his body turned into a splatter of blood just like the residual ice meets the raging fire. Master! I still failed. Looking at this scene, Gamma and the several sinners behind him looked complicated, looking at Ma who looked like now and shook his head. The evil person finally fell into the experiment of his own research, which is really ridiculous. But even so, I will bring your soul and body back to the Holy See to accept the cruelest torture in the world. You heretics are unforgivable. Mekl laughed when he saw the demon Ma. After the breath, the white and slender jade hand gently lifted up, volleyed a little, and suddenly the countless energy in the lair squirmed violently, the heaven and earth lost their voices, so that the pure white holy sword was forcibly pulled out by it, and the beautiful eyes locked on Ma. The divine power of judgment that can be learned from the world fills the entire void. No. You are all wrong. The devil experiment, it was successful. However, the devil fruit I swallowed is not mature, so I am not a qualified devil, so in order to be able to give birth to a devil with the purest bloodline, I am willing to dedicate my life. At this moment, the dark green color around the devil Ma, the evil fog, was nourished by Ma's blood, like a group of unforgivable demons, roaring wildly, laughing wildly, and suddenly roaring away at Mekl in a crazy gesture. Take the rest, you know how to do it. At the last moment, Ma's voice rushed towards Gamma, and the space immediately turned into a real hell. In the dark green evil fog's lair, a pure white holy sword filled with sacred aura traversed the entire space, and there were even some other auras here, but for a while, the entire space collapsed and shattered. This video will end here.